Voices Radio.
This week's guests, I'm very, very excited to have in Mike and Jeremy from Everything. How are you both?
Hi Andy. Yeah, all right, man. How are you?
Yeah, good. It's so nice to see you. Thanks for coming in. You didn't know that you were doing this interview with me, did you?
No, we knew we were doing an interview. We're very tired.
We're jet lagged.
Well, yeah, you just literally stepped off the plane from Mexico in the US, right?
Yeah.
How was that tour? That looks incredible.
Really good.
It was good fun.
Yeah, we had a lot of good times, and we played some places we've never played before, not least Mexico City.
Have you never played Mexico City before?
No, never.
Wow.
Never played.
Right.
Been to
We've
Mexico.
been trying for a long time, but finally it sort of worked out. So we made a little tour before that festival.
Oh, great, leading up to it.
Yeah.
That's the most amazing festival, isn't it? It's all on a racing car rally. Is it still on a racing car rally outside?
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
Is
it's
it?
an
Yeah.
old racetrack sort of thing, I think. Yeah.
It's weird because it's great. Like the stages, especially the main stage, they sort of at the sides they built like tower blocks, like out of lights. So it's just massive. Like the stages are
so
huge.
big. Yeah.
Everything's huge in Mexico, isn't it? But,
Yeah.
but
On
yeah.
another scale, Latin American scale, it's something else.
Yeah.
What was the reaction like to Teletype and to Violent Sun out in Mexico City?
Pretty good, I think. I mean, we played to a big crowd, didn't we? And people were enjoying it, and we enjoyed ourselves.
Yeah.
We didn't really know how to make the set list because we sort of didn't know what they knew over there, but we just sort of did all the bangers basically, and
Tried to balance it across all the albums, more or less, as best we can. We've got too many songs now. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Was it the show in Denver that I saw there was massive chanting, not saying one more song, but they were shouting, Kevin, Kevin,
Were they?
Kevin.
Oh, maybe.
There was a guy in Salt Lake City who just shouted. It was right at the front who just shouted, "Man alive, man alive!" And then we were like, "Oh, okay."
All the way through the show.
We'll play my keys for him.
Yeah, so let's change the set list.
From the first record.
But Denver, we were sort of in a sort of dreamlike state because we were totally jet lagged at that point.
They could have been chanting anything.
Yeah. It was
But
good.
Kevin, he's like a character that's intrinsically linked with the new album, isn't he? It's called Raw Data Feel.
Yeah.
Was it almost called Kevin's Car?
It was,
Yeah.
and we tried to persuade, we successfully persuaded Jonathan not to call the album Kevin's Car.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that was the right thing to do or not now, because the Arctic Monkeys have just put out a record called The Car.
I think that's
Yeah.
quite
Someone else's car putting a car album out. It's very
Red
different. We just thought that was too on the nose, I think, and maybe not totally relevant to all the songs. So we tried to come up with a title that was a bit more of a general encapsulation of the idea of the collision of emotion and the digital world.
Yeah,
basically.
Raw Data Feel.
Exactly,
It's perfect.
yeah. But Kevin, it's doubly confusing, right? Because Kevin is a sort of protagonist, anti-hero character in some of the songs, but not all of them. And he has a car that represents his kind of escape route. But we also work with an AI machine learning to sort of generate some lyrics according to the parameters that Jonathan had given it. And then we ended up naming the AI Kevin after the character in the album.
Yeah.
So it's kind of this...
Self-fulfilling.
It's also, we kind of like the fact that the lines are very blurred and that Jonathan speaks through Kevin, even though some of that is Jonathan, if you know what I mean. It's kind of like this avatar.
As are the other
avatar.
characters, really.
So
They're all semi-autobiographical.
Lots of blurriness, sort of dreaminess, weirdness.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of dreaminess. This is one of my favourite tracks. I love the whole record, but there's something really special about this one. And, I guess people have had time to live with the album. I want to play loads of the album tracks before we get to your own choices. Shall we play Kevin's Car?
Yeah, go for it.
Here it is from today's guest. It's Kevin's Car from Everything. It's Kevin's Car by today's guests, Everything, from the record called Raw Data Feel. Such a beautiful, amazing record. It's great that, so we've got Mike and Jeremy here. Jonathan and Alex are here in spirit. Now, Alex, who's a member of the band, I mean, no disrespect to the other guys, you've worked with some amazing producers over the years, but I feel like for me, Alex is the best producer you've ever worked with.
He does know the band quite well.
He does, that's true.
There was no getting to know you time with the producer.
No.
But no, he's very talented, and I think we had a good, clear vision of what we wanted to do with this album. We didn't have much time to think about it, and it all went kind of 100 miles an hour, really. We were sort of writing it on the road and straight into the
really?
studio.
It's quite sort of COVID tinged still, because the sort of last minuteness of it, the remoteness of it. We didn't rehearse any of these songs as a band. Me and Mike had an afternoon together, like knocking through the rhythm tracks before we went to the studio. So it was much more ad hoc, really. And I think the freshness of that approach kind of comes across.
Yeah.
Also, we had Tom Fuller. So, Alex and Tom did a lot of Get to Heaven, really, before Stuart arrived. So, and we wanted that kind of feeling. That kind of cleanness to it, which they're sort of a production duo, really.
Yeah, Tom's worked on most of our records.
Yeah, we drag him in one way or another.
I remember speaking to Jonathan about this literally the day that my Bad Friday was about to drop and go online, and he was, and you could see how excited he was about this record, and he said every single song could be. We've never had this many choices for singles. To which I said, Get to Heaven. I don't know. I can't imagine how you'd beat that. And he said, well, there's more tracks on this record.
Yeah, that's true. Even that was something that was kind of new for us, to do something that was a totally long form, lockdown splurge kind of statement. Because normally, well, certainly since ARC, I suppose we've been conscious of the fact that we tend to pack in a lot of information.
Yeah.
So we wanted to make the records relatively clipped. But this one's got 14 songs in it because in the end we couldn't really choose anything we wanted to lose.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody felt that everything was relevant and vital and essential to the overall picture, really.
Yeah, there's not a second wasted on this record. It's an amazing album.
Yeah.
We also wanted to avoid the kind of afterthought secondary release a little bit. We've done that a couple of times and it's been useful to us. And it's been a good way of putting out music that didn't find a home on the albums, but we didn't think that the songs that might have been cut off this would necessarily stand up in that context.
Oh, like a extra EP or single,
because these have all been written as they're all a piece, really.
Yeah.
So to cut a couple of tracks off and put them out 6 months later would have just been a bit disingenuous, I think.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the album as well, it feels like it's dripping in 80s, which I think is like a whole world you've never even tapped into before. Is that fair to say?
Sonically, we were thinking a lot about the 90s, because that's sort of what we remember from our childhood.
Yeah, there's quite a lot on the album about sort of Jonathan growing up, and that was in the 90s, really. But yeah, sonically, it's a mixture. I think we've always borrowed a bit from the 80s, haven't we?
The 80s is just the peak of, for better or for worse, the peak of like hi-fi production. So quite a lot of stuff happens in the 1980s sonically. I was listening to the Cocteau Twins over here on the way over here. The really early stuff, which is actually really challenging, really atonal, and that's so different to and rough sounding compared to like Trevor Horn. So you've got quite a broad spread. I find people reference the 80s a lot musically.
Yes,
because
it feels overused. I know what you mean.
There's the full spectrum is there, really. So you can't really get away from that decade.
There's a lot of melody happening in the 80s as well, which obviously we just naturally do.
Isn't it right though, like a starting block for the songwriting was the Buggles? Video killed the radio star.
Yeah, John's really into that.
I don't think we knew that at the time, but
I know how fascinating he finds that song conceptually and even the sonic concepts behind it, and just that moment in time culturally as well, because it was literally about killing off radio with music television, which as we can see here today,
radio is being filmed multi-platform. Whoop. Well, it didn't happen, or did?
Well, it didn't, did it? We're on the radio now.
Yeah, we're all shaking hands and teaming up.
All the other platforms, well, everything's just one big media glob now, isn't it?
I think that the track on the record, though, where that really comes to light, though, is My Computer.
Oh, yeah.
And people might not know this, Mike. You play drums in the band, but you cameo on this record, don't you?
I think I'm on the record. I mean,
we all really wanted to have a go with the vocoder.
Yeah, I think I was sort of the one that was funniest with it, so that's probably what made the cut.
You were already doing the robot voice before.
Yeah.
Like, before we turned you into
a character.
Yeah. So what are you saying? Is it, hey, computer?
Just my computer. I'm not going to do it now.
It was
no.
I need the technology.
It was definitely the most tongue-in-cheek moment on it, and also it's quite directly referencing Computer World by Kraftwerk. Yeah. Not just because it uses the word computer. There's some the rhythmic and the harmonic feel of the thing could have come from that album, really.
Yeah,
that's the 80s.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was one of those songs where you're like, I don't know if this is going to be an album, but we'll just sort of enjoy it and cross that bridge later, kind of thing. And then we thought, let's put it on the album. It's definitely a fun
part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I love this track. This is another favourite. I'm going to keep saying that like a robot, actually. This is my favourite too. We'll play this from the record. It's My Computer. Everything, Everything. Watch out for Mike's cameo in this. It's my computer from today's guests, Everything, Everything. We've got Mike and Jeremy live in the studio, and I feel weird saying, the embracing.
Well, we're just trying to get behind the mic.
Oh, sorry, get behind the mic.
For the frame.
It's like a Beatles or a Queen cover.
Yeah.
If we had the four of you around the microphone.
I think we've been within 2 meters of each other for a while.
15
on
years?
plane seats,
Yeah,
15 years.
Yeah. At least 2 weeks anyway.
So you've just come back from Mexico and the US. Are you? I hope for getting obviously some time off. But then, what are you doing next? Are you gearing up for festival season next year?
We're doing a little bit of recording, and we are then
Really?
gearing up for festival season. Yeah, we've got a few days before the end of this year to try and get some stuff down before the Christmas New Year break,
Wow.
and then we'll do some more of that, I think, in the new year, and then we'll start warming up again in the spring for festivals and stuff.
Yeah.
Have you already got the well of new songs starting to fill up already?
Well,
We've got a pool.
Yeah, the thing is, we've realised that
Pool.
we kind of have to put something in the diary, and then
Yeah.
Towards
that
it.
gets us going, as opposed to just kind of waiting for something. if you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what we're trying to do at the moment.
I remember you saying, Mike, before you went in to do Reanimator, that you had like a block of a week and a half or 2 weeks. And I was really surprised, thinking, wow, that's a very focused amount
To
of
do the
time,
whole
isn't it?
album.
Yeah,
Yeah,
to record it. How long will it normally take to record an Everything,
That was
Everything
with
album?
John Congleton, who does work very fast. Normally it takes maybe
It took
4 or 5
a
weeks.
few weeks, yeah, I think it's more typical. But this album didn't actually. Raw Data Field didn't take us all of that time.
No.
Partly because we were doing it in a more itinerant way, coming
Yeah.
in and out. Not all of us there at the same time necessarily. In the old days, we used to sort of go away and lose our minds for 5 weeks in a farm and just not go anywhere or see anyone for that time. And that was quite good for us at that time. But we couldn't really do that these days
Yeah.
because of the demands of adult life.
Yes.
So it's also, it brings a different quality to things to do things in smaller batches as well.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Can you give us, I mean, it's too early to talk about it because you haven't even written it yet, but can you give us any indication on what music's inspiring you? So it was the Buggles video killed the radio star, or Kraftwerk. Has anything
I think
taken
it's
that
always been
place?
those things, really.
Yeah.
And in that respect, we're probably drawing from a similar well because we've got such broad tastes anyway. There are always different areas of our existing experience we can draw from.
It's just kind of like taking a different angle to the same thing, really.
Yeah.
Because these formative. I mean, I could listen to a new thing tomorrow and say we should do something like that, but actually, the stuff that tends to get into our music is the stuff that we grew up with, really.
Yeah, of course.
So it's just kind of taking another look at that and saying, okay, well, what can we take from that side of it?
Yeah. Well, a lot was said. I remember when you released Man Alive of Destiny's Child influence in the band, and
Yeah.
Radiohead and Nirvana. Are they those, I guess, your bedroom bands? Do they still loom large when you're writing new stuff even now?
I think they do, yeah. I think maybe the American R&B side of it is slightly less. Although, actually, I'm just thinking about something we've recorded recently, and it's still very much there, isn't it? We still like listening to A. Marie.
Yeah.
Yes.
John listens to all that grime, like B-Tech grime stuff, and like like Manchester.
Yeah,
rap
like
stuff.
Curzle Massive and quite amateurish rap music is quite appealing to us. John's quite attracted to sort of outsiders generally in music and art, people that are kind of misfits, and there's always lots of really interesting stuff to learn from those individuals.
Yeah, exactly. It definitely looms large on this track. This is the first single. You always like to come back with a very dancey, anthemic single, and make a big splash of it. I guess like Distant Past and Cough Cough, and this one, Bad Friday. Is that on purpose?
It's
We never really know what we're
think
doing.
Yeah.
we don't think about what's a single until it's time to pick the singles, if you know what I mean. We just record the songs as they go, and inevitably those conversations start taking place. But it's partly because those songs you've mentioned, they're quite immediate.
Yes.
So they're kind of the obvious choices. But if anything, I think we might try to steer our way around that this time.
Oh, really?
Try and make a record that's less peaks and troughs in terms of its commerciality. Just make it all somewhat moderate.
Oh, right. I don't want to get too existential about it, but I feel like every record is almost a reaction to the last record. You know, you completely change it up and do it again. You know,
is true.
So if Raw Data Field was full of singles, is this going to be completely different to that?
Well, we haven't got any singles yet, so maybe. I don't know. It's really hard to know what would. It's really difficult to predict what's going to happen in the next year and a half, really.
Yeah.
We've got a few things we like, and that really we're just trying to enjoy the songs in the sort of minimal way for the time being before thinking about the marketing side of things, because that's not particularly helpful.
Yeah, it's definitely too early for that.
Yeah. But I think something like Bad Friday, it kind of, I think it's almost anomalous, even on this album. It sort of sticks out as something that's borrowing from a more commercial area.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
We quite like doing that sometimes. Past was definitely that.
Yeah, I think that those songs where it feels like it's on the edge to us, like, are we allowed to do it? I think that's quite exciting to us in a way.
In what way? Is it the shouting element that Jonathan has going on?
I think the
call and response?
The chorus is pretty commercial. If it was done by somebody else and it was on Capital FM,
Sam
no
Smith
one would really bat an eyelid.
Yeah.
So that's what we quite liked about it in a way. It's like, are we allowed to do this? I don't know. We'll just do that anyway. And that's kind of where we got to, really.
It was a Saturday night, just clear on my phone. I can't remember. Was it a Friday night? Was it a Saturday night?
It's Bad Friday from Everything, of course. It's got another one of those catchy chants that you like to put in the tracks, don't you? You know, I'm loving the bass, I'm loving the drums, and it was a Friday night, it was a Saturday night.
Yeah, it is, and his original demo of this was much less subtle.
Yeah, it's very
And
impressive.
the rest of us tried to work quite hard on making it less like General Levy, I suppose. Which I do like.
Yeah, it's good though. He sort of presents us with something that's sort of totally way out, and then we see if we can find a way to make
Temper
it
it a
feel
bit.
like us. And,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's absolutely mad, and just, you know, it's gone by in the blink of an eye, the fact that you're writing for your 7th record. Is there, like, this is maybe a stupid question, but is there a wisdom that you get to unlock when you reach album 6? Is there like a level of experience that, you know, you couldn't have done Raw Data Field as your debut, right?
I think actually it sort of has a certain spirit in
Sense of
common with the debut, maybe more so than any of the records we'd made subsequently. But no, you're right. I think part of the fun of a debut album is that you don't have any preconceptions. So there's an innocence to it, which is why so many bands' debuts are their best. You never get that back, but this album has a bit of that because of the very sort of ad hoc way in which we made it. But yeah, I think you're right. I think that inevitably you end up with a sort of... I guess every album since Fever Dream has felt like a bonus, basically. Like... And less loaded with expectations. Like, we feel like we can do whatever we want now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the beauty of being on the 6th, 7th album, is like we've already put loads of music into the world, so it's like less pressure on ourselves, I think.
Yeah, exactly. And I guess that made it the perfect time to release the lyrics book, which is, you know, again, a bonus. It must have been so nice to like trawl through and dig deep into the hard drives and get all the tour posters out. And
it was kind of nice. It was
quite
It
exacting.
took about a year.
Yeah.
But we don't tend to look back that much, so it was interesting for me because I just bung all this stuff in a folder. I never look at it.
Yeah. I suppose that's the one thing about where we are in our careers. You say it's album 6, album 7, is that for the first time we've actually got a career and a catalogue that's big enough to actually turn around and look at in one go.
This is a doorstop, like doorstep novel of a book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tome.
Faber asked us if we wanted to do it, and it was sort of a pandemic project for us, and we sort of said, yeah, I'll do a lyric book, that seems easy enough. And then as it went on, it just expanded and expanded, and we were like, oh, can we put this in, can we put that out, and like, can we find an extra page for this? And I think we got to the end of their tether, really. But
we
we're
wanted
really
it to be quite thorough.
Yeah.
And obviously everything needs checking, and we had to remind ourselves which songs we put out and which ones we haven't put out, and
for the benefit
B-sides and everything.
For the benefit of the cameras in the studio, this is the fluorescent pink and orange of Caps Lock On, the new book, out now.
Yeah, subtle as ever.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, this is all of the lyrics and various bits of just mostly kind of our own photography, because we didn't want pictures that you can Google everything and they come up. We wanted the kind of rougher, not as well shot stuff that we'd done ourselves.
Yeah.
To appear in it.
Yeah.
Stuff that was harder to find.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It's the candid stuff, I suppose. And there's lots of kind of notes and bits of notation, and yeah, there's loads in here. I haven't looked at this properly for a while.
Like your
It's
first
really
time
long.
playing in Europe and the Netherlands
all of that,
and all those tour
exactly.
posters.
Yeah, it's quite nice for us as well, because it's sort of a scrapbook, isn't it? Like a memory.
Yeah.
Memory
I
lane.
love that some of the posters from 2009 are obviously crumpled up a bit, and you've had to scan them
that was
in.
another thing
It's
we
really
wanted
nice.
to do, to kind of have that patina on everything.
How many songs have you written then? I mean, this is a
I
big
think
book.
that's 99 songs. That book.
I remember. I think you asked this at Rough Trader in Install, and somebody shouted, "Write another one,"
yeah.
which is the obvious.
Around 99.
Probably late.
There are songs that we've recorded and not put out, so it's actually more than that.
Yeah,
and
this
there
like-
are new songs that we've recorded and not put out.
Yeah, stuff on YouTube and stuff that it wasn't. We were like, was that actually released, or was that just sort of wilderness years?
So
yeah.
stuff that has leaks, like Hey Jude Law.
Yeah.
That's not in there because we didn't put it out, but you can find it.
It's like a TV show debating what's canonical,
Exactly.
what exists in
Yeah.
The West Wing or Lost,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you know, I feel like use a band and you've always had that sense of like being a showrunner of a TV show. You know, you're world building essentially, aren't you? You
Yeah,
know,
that's
like there's
something-
recurring elements like Kevin and the Fox from the debut record.
Yeah, that's important to John and the lyrics, and it's important to all of us in the presentation, I suppose. It actually
Yeah.
kind of gets easier as you go through a career. The identity is something that snowballs and starts to self-perpetuate, and you're almost choosing what does and doesn't fit it.
Yeah.
And it becomes its own living, breathing thing outside of the four people that made it as well. That's
Yeah, exactly.
which is odd.
Yeah, and you react to how the fans react, if you know what I mean. When you go out and play live and stuff, and you take it all on board. But it is like a Netflix series or something, and it feels like we're on our 7th season. You know what I mean?
It's well worth binging all 6 albums. Yeah.
I'll tell you what.
Binge
yeah.
listening on,
I've
on
never
Spotify.
done that.
I mean, I wouldn't.
What was? I mean, again, this is quite an oddball question, but you guys have known me for a long time. What would the Jeremy and Mike of 2009 about to release Man Alive into the world? What would they think hearing Raw Data feel for the first time?
I think we'd be into it, actually.
Yeah.
I think we would be into it. I'd like to think that we wouldn't detect any sense of compromise. That's kind of the most important thing to us.
Yeah.
It's one of the sort of challenges of being in a band for a while is you have to try not to overthink things and get cynical about stuff, you know. You have to try and stay honest. And,
Yes.
I feel like it's a really honest record of a time in John's life that kind of was it was all just coming out of him, you know. So I think if you're honest with anything, you can't really argue with that. So.
Yeah, of course, yeah. We're going to play some new bands that you've both chosen.
Oh, yeah.
Which I guess are also in that pre-debut album exciting phase.
Yeah.
But because, you know, it feels like a good excuse with caps lock on the lyrics book and we're talking about Man Alive, I want to play a bit of Schooling.
Yeah.
Okay.
What does this song bring? What memories does this conjure up for you now?
I remember being in a rehearsal studio not far from here, actually, and kind of knocking the song together. And Alex had been in the band for about
We actually
10
had
minutes.
problems with it for a while. We didn't quite know how to do the second half of the song, I think.
Yeah, and John had, in those days, John kind of bolted together different bits of music without changing the keys. So I remember trying to persuade him that we needed to rethink the harmony, which we did do.
Was it one of the first ones we did with Alex then, maybe?
It was, yeah, one of the first
Great.
songs we wrote with Alex, definitely.
Yeah.
Was
He
it?
kind of made
yeah.
the second half of that come alive with this quite fiddly math rock guitar part, which really elevated that
Yeah.
section.
Was that going to be 2 songs you mentioned about it being bolted
we
together?
did that. We still do that.
Yeah.
For a lot of the songs, there are probably 3 or 4 we've butchered in some way. You know, it might just be a drum pattern, or it might be a whole section.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and that was much more common in these days.
Yeah.
Back in 2010, 2009, when we were writing this album.
Amazing. Well, here it is from the first record called Man Alive. This is called Schooling.
Haven't heard
Tracks-
this for a while.
Having a classic banger. Here it comes. The epic drum breakdown. Yeah. It's Schooling from Everything from the first record called Man Alive. I love that song. I love what you were saying off air about the song, and can you just repeat that?
Just remembering what went into it, really, because it's been a while. But the whistle sound is obviously something that typifies this track, and if anything, I tend to forget it's there and think of it as quite a kind of solemn minor key piece of music, but it's got that kind of crazy frog element. Like you were saying, John likes to sort of superimpose the cheap and nasty with the sort of serious furrowed brow stuff.
Yeah.
It definitely creates something that typifies our band, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Those.
You talk about bolting two songs together, which is what happened with Schooling. Was that the first experiment in doing that?
Probably not even the first, but...
Come Alive Diana, maybe, or... Yeah.
Well, that was about...
Yeah, definitely, actually, because Come Alive Diana was a completely different song for a bit, and we took the verse from it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
we're playing that next.
Are we? Wow.
No,
yeah.
we won't have time.
That's fine.
I remember John had the Dr. Dre bass line before he had the rest of the song.
On Schooling, yeah.
Yeah, and then the first half of the song, and the chorus is in a completely different key as well, so it was probably conceived at a different time, but we quite like the jump there.
Yeah, but I love that because it's like a two-punch. You know, you're going along and thinking, "Oh, I love this. This is the chorus," and then this is the chorus. Yeah. You know, Kemosabe and it does a bit of that.
I was surprised that the label wanted to make it a single, but I'm glad they did.
Also made a music video, didn't we?
We made a couple of videos for this.
Oh God, yeah.
Because the first one
we were on tour and we sort of on the fly said, okay, well, the idea for the video can be that someone's making a sand mammoth, like you know,
building a huge.
Yeah, sure.
Like huge. We're like, mammoth.
It'll be a sort of beautiful sand sculpture.
Yeah, and then blow it up at the end.
And
we weren't there.
With sort of loads of slow-mo of sand flying everywhere. We weren't there, and basically a willing sort team of people.
Drizzly day somewhere.
In Wales.
Yeah.
In like Prestatyn, built a sort of 5-foot mammoth. It wasn't enormous.
Yeah.
And sort of blew it up, and just a bit of it sort of just fell off.
Yeah.
It was really anticlimactic.
Quite what we had in mind.
No.
So then we did like a last-minute animation video.
Yeah, we learned a lot of lessons. We realised that we needed to be around the videos, and that we probably needed to keep total control of them ourselves.
Right.
Yeah.
And apart from that one, which we never released, and the second My Keys video, we've done basically all the videos ourselves since then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We probably
have you all the videos since?
Well, we've certainly been either directing them. Well, John's either been directing them or co-directing them. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think without exception, actually.
We've got more and more controlling of everything, I think, over the years, as videos and music. I mean, Alex produced it, you know.
Yeah.
We don't even let anyone... Well, we'll see.
We're very used to a level of autonomy, and I think that's definitely given us a kind of particular signature, because it's rarely been diluted, really.
Yeah, well, exactly. Like the sort of invention of those early videos pre-schooling as well. They're absolutely amazing and mind-blowing, and they're all done on a budget of absolutely £0, aren't they?
Yeah.
Apart from a few ads to suits or something.
Like poverty of choice, poverty of resources actually gives you a more distinctive aesthetic signature than when you've got 25 grand to spend.
Yeah.
And things get a bit nebulous and a bit out of control and a bit dispersed.
There was I think Suffragette was the first one we made, and I think where John was renting at the time had a garage, and I think that we just said, okay, well, that
was me in his flat.
Yeah, that was it.
We had a garage and he had a baby niece, and we were like, well, what can we do with these two things? These are our resources.
We've got a cardboard box.
Yeah, we bought some boiler suits. I think we spent 90 quid on the first Photoshop Hanson video, and that went on 4 suits from Asda.
Yeah.
They were nasty suits.
Yes. We destroyed them as well.
Yeah. This is such a masterclass for unsigned bands. Those videos are amazing. What about the pterodactyl, though? In Photoshop Hanson.
This is the other thing, was that we also had a lot of willing and talented friends to call on. And John's friend, Alex Ernie, as we know him, is a great animator. And he basically made that video come alive, really, didn't he? Because it was a juxtaposition. We did a load of green screen footage. Again, we had friends who were filmmakers who had access to a green screen at Bolton University. We went there for a day, shot a load of green screen stuff. Ernie animated the stuff that was sort of superimposed behind us. That was an important moment for us, that video.
He works in computer games now, right?
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he's great.
That's the thing. Everyone's professionals now, whereas at the time it was just they just finished art college or whatever, and you just go, "Can you do us a favour?" But
people had the time and the willingness, and also, luckily for us, the talent that they were willing to lend us.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we're going to play two new bands that you two are really excited about and that you've chosen for us. We're going to play Short Blast before the end of the programme. One from Jockstrap, chosen by you, Mike.
Yes.
Tell us about Jockstrap.
Well, my friend who just surprised me on the tube, which is another story, said, "Are you enjoying the Jock?" Just text me, "Are you enjoying the Jockstrap album?" Very presumptuously, and I said, "The what? The what now?" So then I thought, well, he knows me and my taste, so I'm assuming he thinks I'm going to like this. And I just played this song that you'll play a bit of, just because it was the most popular on Spotify and I had nothing else to go on. And I was like pretty blown away. I just thought I sort of realised over the years that I like to be surprised within a song, within albums, but within a song. And this makes so many sort of twists and turns, which represents them, I think. There's so much weird production and music stuff on the record that it keeps you on your toes, put it that way.
The band are called Jockstrap, Concrete Over Water, as chosen by Mike from Everything Everything. Yeah, they are a great band. I'm glad your friend texted you and started that cycle.
I am too. I've never heard this, and I think it's really great. I'm going to check them out now.
Yeah, exactly. Your choice, Jeremy, is by a band who I've not heard before, so we're continuing the sort of secret Santa of music tips.
Nice, this. This is a band I became aware of because their drummer plays guitar in another band I love called Do Nothing. And I think they've only put out 2 or 3 singles, and this was the first one. And it's just quite sophisticated songwriting, I think. The chorus is really luscious.
I feel like this is
really
right
enjoy
up
the
your
sound of this
street.
band. Yeah.
You like Black Midi and Do Nothing. And
I do, but
yeah.
this is actually less abrasive. This is quite poppy. And yeah, it's just very. I just was very beguiled by the chorus of this song. It was lovely.
The band are called Divorce, as chosen by Jeremy from Everything Everything. It's called Services. Everything Everything. Mike and Jeremy from the band have been today's guests. Thanks so much for coming in, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure to chat to you.
Us, as always.
Yeah.
Ideal Afternoon. Raw Data Feel is the album. I don't need to plug your music, but Caps Lock On is the lyrics book. Are there still? Is that near to selling out, or have you still got copies going about?
I think they just
Keep making
printing.
them.
Keep making them.
We were in America and we ran out of things for merch, and it appeared.
Did you?
It just appeared. So
Yeah.
it's
around.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw you made, by the way, on the American tour some special posters for each gig, like the Mexico City show, right?
For the tour itself,
which
we made
immediately
posters.
sold out.
We should have stocked about 5 times as many of those.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Did you
They
make that
were
poster?
limited though.
Yeah.
They were hand numbered and limited, so the genuine thing to do is just to keep them to that number.
Oh, yeah.
Which we may or may not do.
I tried to get like vinyl copies, 7 inches of Cough Cough and Suffragette, and you don't want to know how much they cost now.
I would like to know how much they cost now, actually.
I've got one.
Yeah.
You've been bidding for your own vinyl on eBay. Amazing. Jeremy and Mike, I could talk to you for hours, but you actually need to go. It's been so nice to speak to you both. Thanks
too,
for coming in.
Thank you.
I want to end on Metroland is Burning, also from Raw Data Field,
Nice
to close
choice.
us out. Tell us about this song, because it's a bit of a mystery to me, this one.
Yeah, it was another song I remember sort of understanding as we were working on it and making it, really. And it's really come into its own live. We really enjoy playing this one in the set, and it seems to have a kind of extra level to it when we play it live.
Yeah, and Metroland is a place in Gateshead.
Is it?
Yeah, it's like a big
Right.
shopping centre, basically. Or it's a...
Oh my
the
God!
Metro
Yes, I grew up
Centre.
near there. I remember Metroland.
Metro Centre and Metroland
Exactly.
was like a fun fair park thing within it, which I don't think exists anymore, but it was very much a big deal in the northeast.
Is Wet and Wild? Is that ever going to
I
be
think-
name dropped in
Yeah,
a song?
I mean, I definitely went there. Maybe probably next album. Yeah, just keep going around.
The Clooney.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's blown my mind. I imagine some sort of sci-fi vistas. No,
Well,
Metroland in
that's the
Gateshead.
thing about the word is it could be a few different things, but at least originally that's what he was getting at.
Here it is. Metroland is Burning. Jeremy and Mike, thanks so much. So great to see you. Thanks for coming in.
Cheers.